right, this is Terrance Evans, and you're listening to Around the World in 5 hours. We've got our feature for the night. We will be releasing 3 of his songs from his debut album, The Product of My DNA. Curtis Young, how are you, sir?
I'm good, man. What's up? Thanks for having me, Terrance.
No problem, man, no problem. I just wanted to set something straight because, of course, up here in Canada, we seem to have a bunch of haters. If anybody in Canada wants to book you, where do they go?
My man, Terrance Evans. Terrance Evans Entertainment.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, so Curtis, we're just going to get into a couple, pretty in-depth questions, right? And we're just going to ask you some stuff. A lot of people. I'm sitting here and I'm looking at you right now, and I'm thinking, damn, he looks just like his dad.
Like looking in the mirror.
Yeah, for real, for real. So tell us a little bit about that story. I don't know if you want to get into it. What was it like growing up as Curtis Young? Let's go back to like maybe 8 years old. What was that like for you?
At the age 8 years old, I was into poetry, just writing rhymes, and just trying to find myself. I looked up to a lot of rappers: Biggie, Jay-Z, Pac, Nas, and I love Wu-Tang. So that was me, growing up. And then I came to realize when at the age of 12, I found out, my mother told me, who my father was, over an argument over a pair of Jordans. And then, that's when I found out who my father was. It was Dr. Dre.
All right. So how did you take that? How did you take that when you first found out? What was the first thing that went through your head?
Legacy. Like, I had to take it over. I had to meet him. I had to figure out how was I going to meet him, and sharpen up my craft. And it pushed me more and motivated me more to become, a hip hop icon.
All right. And so at the age of 12 is when you first met your father, is that correct?
No, I met my father the first time I met him at the age of 20. At the age of 12 is when I found out who my father was. It was another man that was my stepfather. His name was Andre too, that was raising me.
Okay. Do you want to maybe get into a little bit about your childhood and tell us what it was like growing up before we get into the whole thing?
We could get into a bit. I got a movie coming out. You guys can check that out too.
Don't forget, you got the book as well.
Yeah, the book too. Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, so let's fast forward a little bit, maybe. When
get into a little bit. I answer a couple questions, of course.
Sure. Okay. So you're 20 years old, and you've known for the last 8 years that your dad's Dr. Dre. What happens? What happens? You're 20. What happened?
It took that long to establish a DNA test with me and my father. So after we took the DNA test was when I met him at the Sky Bar in Hollywood, if you want to be exact. And I'm his firstborn son.
Nice. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
All right. So how was that? What was that meeting like for you? I mean, were you nervous? I mean, you're nervous for a couple reasons. I mean, it's Dr. Dre and it's your dad, right?
Yeah, we had a couple cocktails before we even spoke. Let me just say that. But I was very nervous. He was, and like I said, it's like looking in the mirror and knowing that my father was a legend, and I had to figure out how to get in my own lane and continue it.
All right, so we're done with that. We'll let the people get the movie, and maybe when you come up here to Vancouver, they can meet and greet and talk to you and get a little bit about that. But in your music career, how far or how much has your father helped you?
None.
Say again?
He gave me the name. He told me, you got the name Young, run with it.
Wow. So this entire thing is being done. Sorry, sorry.
I'll get more respect, well renowned to do it on my own.
All right, I believe you. I believe you on that. So, I mean, your dad must be somewhere back there, kind of looking over your shoulder, trying to help you out a little bit, or is this completely your own thing?
It's my own legacy. It's my own lane. It's all on my own.
All right. So now you've got this album. It hasn't been released. You've released, I think, what, two songs or so far, and now here on Around the World in 5 Hours, you're going to release three songs, correct? Why don't we talk about the first song that you're gonna release? What's that song called?
That's the delivery.
Tell us a little bit about the song delivery. Maybe give us some information on it, where it came from. Where it came from in your heart.
Well, it came from in my heart. It's like I said. This is another. Again, I can't give up too much insight because you got to see the movie. But the delivery came on the fact on how I was born and how I came into this world and how I see my life, and the whole album is set up like on how my life basically how I live my life. So in the delivery, it tells about uh, just my whole birthright on how I got here. So once you check out the song, if people pay attention, they'll understand it.
All right. Okay. So we're gonna play that here now, and
Born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I want the people to know that too.
exactly, exactly. All right. So we're gonna play that here right now. You're listening to Curtis Young, debuting his album or a few songs out of his album, "The Product of My DNA," here in Canada. And you're listening to Terrance Evans Entertainment Around the World in 5 Hours. This is Curtis Young, Delivery.